Now, Ireland is set to miss an EU deadline to bring in new rules around pay transparency. I said that in a very jovial way.
Yeah, so
I?
these measures are designed to make salaries more open and help tackle pay gaps. Joining us now to discuss this is HR expert Louisa Meehan. Good morning, Louisa.
Morning.
Thank you for joining us. So tell us, what is the Pay Transparency Directive and what was it designed to do?
So this is leading from the gender pay gap, which people probably are aware of in terms of reporting for organisations with more than 50 employees on the gender pay gap. This is the sort of next phase, and it's the Pay Transparency Directive. So it's coming throughout Europe from the EU. Ireland was due to have it implemented by the beginning of June. We're going to miss that deadline, and that's not unusual when it comes to employment legislation. That's not the first deadline we've missed. The government have said that that's not going to come at the expense of the employer. But what it means, there's sort of two primary things that it's going to do for employers. One is in relation to your current staff, and a lot of employment contracts will say, you know, you can't talk about your pay, your bonus increases, etc. There's some degree of confidentiality that will be stripped away, and you need to.
Will everybody know what everyone's getting?
If you tell them.
So it's up to you to tell them.
It's up to you to tell them, in part. But you could say, well, I'm comparable. My role is comparable to the individuals who are working on a different part of the organisation. So say, for example, you're working in the warehouse. You could say, well, my job is comparable to the people who are working in admin in the finance department. So what's their salaries? So one collective could look at another collective and say the work that we're doing is comparable, and you can get the average salary for that group of people. But I couldn't say, tell me what Alan's salary is.
OK, so there's a lot to this. So it says there should be more information about salaries to job applicants, right?
That's the second part. So for new entrants, currently you don't have to say, here's the salary range or here's what the salary is. You can go out to market and say, I've got a job. What's your current salary? What are you expecting? Let's have a conversation, and you can figure it out. With this, you have to go out and say, this job will be 45 to 50,000.
Put their salary, like, this would be your opening salary, and they just go...
Not in the private sector.
No, absolutely not.
Just come in and chat to us, and we'll work an agreement out.
They also can't ask candidates about their earning history. So, you know, when you go into a job and they're like, what are your expectations?
Yes.
And you're like... Because then you put a number down and they're like, well, we can lowball this person.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's one thing that they're trying to stop as well.
That's what they're trying to stop. And it's about creating balance. Like the reason for it is in relation to gender pay and the gender pay gap, and trying to ensure that there's a level playing field. So that's where it's all stemming from. OK, so this is something that an awful lot of people will realise. I suppose when you're talking about public unions, you know your level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is what it is. It's not based on gender. But when it comes to private sector's gender pay gap, women kind of stop getting paid on October 21st, or I think it is, of the year, and men keep on going. That's the relative difference in what men get paid and women get paid on a kind of a macro level. So they're trying to stop this. They're trying to, and part of that can come from, so, you know, a person, and let's just say a woman in this situation, could enter the workforce at the same salary, but maybe doesn't get the same salary increases. 10 years down the line, may be on a lower salary, but doing the work equivalent to somebody on a salary of 5,000-10,000 more. If both of those individuals were to apply for a job in a new organisation, and the question was, what is your current salary? Then one person's salary is 10,000 less than the other person's, even though their skills are the same, and the value that they're going to bring to your organisation is the same. Okay. So
why are you in that job knowing that you're 10,000 less than the other person?
You're assuming that you know. So they may not know, because people might be going, well, I can pay my bills, I'm okay, you know, I've managed it, and look at how great I've done. I've had all these increases, so I'm doing really well. But if I don't know what you're earning, then I don't know that, I'm doing okay, but I'm not doing as well as you're doing.
And this is what's interesting, because there has always been this thing of, you know, don't tell anyone what you're earning. Oh, it's uncouth to talk about money. Whereas in reality, it's a way to keep people in the... Like, once I was paid significantly less than a male colleague for doing the same job, only for he told me.
Yeah.
And he said, come here to me, this is what I'm making. What are you making?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my God. And he went, you need to go and talk to them about that, which I really appreciated. Like, it was amazing.
When you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah, I didn't have a clue.
And you might be, you might be paid enough that you can pay your bills, you're not struggling, but that still doesn't mean you shouldn't be paid the right amount for the work that you're doing. Yeah. And a fair amount relevant to
do you think you were getting that because you're a woman or because you had less experience?
I did ask the question if it was because I was a woman, and I was given almost the same money straight away.
Oh,
so
right.
And sometimes it might be because you're a woman, but also it might be because you just never asked.
Well, this is the thing.
You know?
Can I just ask you very quickly then, why have we made, what's the government not doing that we're going to miss this directive?
So because this is a directive coming from the EU, we have to translate it into Irish legislation. So the government have to decide what the law looks like in this country, and that's what Irish employers then will need to adhere to. So we have a reasonable understanding as to what the directive is saying, but we don't know how that's going to be interpreted into Irish law. What I would say to any employer out there, though, is this is something that is a strategic advantage to your business. However, it does take a long time to do this properly. So I would start now. I wouldn't be waiting.
0896 111 111. Do you know what you and your colleagues are earning? Is money something that you openly talk about? And what do you make of all this? 0896 111 111. I want to make sure that what my situation I talked about, it was not here. Louisa, it wasn't here. Louisa Meehan, HR expert, thank you so much for joining us.
Not at all, thank you.
He always tells me how much he earns. He never stops.
We're going to take a quick break. See you in a few minutes.